I've done this, I've done applications, I've gotten 1 million, unfortunately. You will keep getting unfortunate emails if you're not doing it rightly. As in, some of those applications are even computer generated, frankly. So if you are not hitting the hammer on the head of the nail, it's just going to bounce you back. Like, computer does not have time to actually go over and say, maybe I will accept you, or maybe I will not accept you. If you're not doing it right, you're not going to get accepted. It's that easy. I'm going to try to pick out the very, very essential things you should be able to do if you're hoping to ever get an interview with the NHS presently, following the present requirements that have been given out now by the UK Home Office. Okay, 3 major things that you find on the application for an NHS job. Number 1 is the essential criteria, right? And then number 2 is the desirable criteria, and number 3 is your personal statement. These are the 3 things that will genuinely decide if you're ready to get a job or not, and they will decide if you are going to get the job or not. Number 1 thing, like I said, is the essential criteria. Now, maybe you actually don't understand the meaning of essential. Essential means you must have this thing. Okay, if a job is put out and on the essential criteria they say you must have 5 years experience working with children with learning disability, you must have so skills, you must have trainings on moving and handling, you must have trainings on infection control, you must have trainings on medication administration. Those are essential skills. What it means is that you must have these things. So if you don't have these things, don't even bother applying, because when you go ahead and apply, you're simply not just wasting your time, you're also wasting the time of the recruiter, and you're occupying space for people who actually have these things. If you want that kind of job, go and upgrade yourself. Try to look out for where you can undergo trainings to meet up with such skills, so you don't end up being disappointed over and over again. So make sure you only apply for jobs that you meet up with the essential criteria. Essential, like the word means you must have those things. So read the essential criteria of every job you apply and tailor your CV based on the essential criteria. Okay, this is a hint I'm giving you. Tailor your CV based on the essential criteria. If the essential, I'm not telling you to lie or anything, but if the essential criteria says 5 years in a learning disability on your CV, make sure you mention that you've officially had 5 years and above. You can say, oh, I've had 6 years, or I've had 7 years. Do you see how that works? So then when they look at your CV and they look at the essential criteria, they'll say, oh, this person actually does meet this. If they say we want somebody who has a certificate in NVQ certificate 3, you should be able to state clearly on your CV, NVQ certificate 3. Gotten at so place at so time. So you should be able to link these essential criteria with what you have on your CV and make sure like they are open, they are literally on the employer's face. Shout it out so the employer sees it. A job is advertised for maybe 20 persons and they're having over 1,000 persons apply. Don't think they have time to go over everything. Make sure you're literally listing out your essential criteria like so boldly that they can see it. Now, this video I'm making is not just for the healthcare assistants or the nurses or anything. This is in general in whatever role you're applying for in the NHS job, because these are like their normal criteria for recruiting staff. After the essential criteria, the next cutoff points would then be the desirable criteria. Now, like the word says, desirable, it means we would love you to have these things. We would appreciate if you have this. We would prefer if you have these things. It doesn't mean that if you don't have these things, you will not be considered. But it means that if we do find somebody who has it, we might take the person before you. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So if they put driving skills and a driver's license, or somebody who resides in Northern Ireland as a desirable criteria, as opposed to somebody who is coming from England or in Scotland, it doesn't mean that if you're in England, you can't apply for this job. No, it simply means that if we have more applicants who applies from Northern Ireland, but who does meet those essential criteria, we might put them first before you. But if we find no other person, then we'll take you even if you don't have it. So that's what it means. So in this area where you have the desirable criteria, go ahead and shoot your shot. List out those things that you think will make them love you more, even if you do not have those desirable things which they are looking out for. Let's say you do not have your driving and they have driving as a desirable criteria. Be able to list out on that part that, oh, I'm already doing my training for my driving, I've already done my primary, I've already done my theories, I'm presently undergoing this training. So they know, oh, okay, this person doesn't actually meet up with this exact criteria, but is in process. So then even if they're taking their beer, oh, in the nearest future you are going to be able to meet up with that exact skills which they are looking out for. Do you understand what I mean? So at this point on your desirable criteria, try to let them understand that you're willing and you're open to achieve it. Okay, so on the desirable criteria, you find so many other skills they'll be putting out for. They'll be like, oh, we'll love if you have a knowledge in cannulation, we'll love if you have a knowledge in venipuncture, we'll love if you have a knowledge in Excel, if you have a knowledge in Microsoft, in how to use the computer and all that. You should be able to tell them, oh, I may not have this knowledge at the moment, but I am open to learn. I am very fast in learning. That means that if you send me out on trainings, I will be able to pick up very fast. That gives the employer the peace of mind to know that, oh, this person, yes, even if I take him without these things, will be able to actually learn. Okay, so in your desirable section, try to list out those things that even if you don't have, you are willing to learn. Even if you do not have, you're open to want to actually work on yourself to get them done. So those are the things you should also list out on. Then now we are going straight into the personal statements. That is the number 3 section. Now, the personal statement most times is what most employers want to look. And when they look at the personal statement is what tells them everything about you. Or the personal statement, you should try to relate it with exactly what the job vacancy says. When you look at the job vacancy, it tells about the person criteria. It lists the roles, it lists duties they are looking out for in that exact roles. It tells you what the exact role is expecting from you, what you should be doing. Now, in your personal statement, if I were you, I would try to take that personal statement and personalize it, just like the name says, a personal statement. Okay, internalize all the skills, all the criterias, both the essential criterias, the desirable criterias into it. But there is something you should also bear in mind. Okay, when you're doing your personal statement, try to tailor it to the exact job criteria. If, let's say, you're trying to apply for a job in learning disability, okay, and you've had previous experiences in different sector, you've worked in the care home with elderly people, or you've worked in the nursing home with elderly people, look for instances where you attended to people in your nursing home that actually do have learning disability. Learning disability is the key word. So you can say, oh, I attended to so patient who was an elderly but is also diagnosed with such learning disability, and this are the kind of care I was able to offer to that patient. This and this is how I'm able. So they know you do have transferable skills. So even if you haven't actually worked in a learning disability home, but you've attended to patients with learning disability, don't just say, oh, I've been working in a care home. Working in the care home does not give you enough experience to work with children with learning disability. But if you tell them that I have been working in a care home where I do have patients who also had learning disability and I cared for them, look at what I did in their daily life. Look at what I did to them when they wake up in the morning. Look at the kind of cares. Please try to put in those medical terminologies. Try to put in those exact words they want to look, because the NHS normally will give this recruiting managers like list of words they want to see in your application, list of words they want to see in your personal statement. So if those words are not there, it simply means you don't know what you're talking about. So try to put in those words. Try to list them out. Don't just write your personal statement in 2 seconds and think you're done. You need to actually put up the work. Tell yourself you're actually competing against 1,000 other persons in every single application you do. And if you are not standing, how do you expect the recruiter to take you? I mean, put yourself in the place of that recruiter. So if you do plan to still secure a job in the NHS, these are some things you should want to work on. So if you know that everything I've listed out here, you've not been doing them in your application, maybe you should start today. Go and start all over again. There are still jobs vacancies in the NHS. At every moment, there is at least about 1,000 job vacancies open available in the NHS in different areas in England, in Northern Ireland, in Scotland, everywhere. These jobs are always there. So you can keep applying and applying and applying. Just make sure you're actually applying the right way. Because if you're applying the right way, why wouldn't they take you? I mean, they don't have anything against you. There's no reason why you should keep getting, unfortunately, until you're doing it the right way. Try to put in all these things and hopefully you will get called on your next interview. Continue to subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Don't forget to hit the like button. Share this video to anybody who you think will also benefit from it. And until next time, I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.